Good day, Summoners. This is Raabemaster bringing you a League of Legends Procast for your viewing pleasure, and today it's going to be featuring Reginald on Xerath in the mid lane. And you guys are welcome to the show where there are invisible minions because low replay is buggy as always. Actually, those have always been there. I wouldn't even classify them as a bug anymore. I would just say that they're a natural part of the game now until they move and then they become non-invisible. But I'm sure that'll happen eventually. But as we can see, First Blood has already gone down. It's Lee Sin, he got killed. Probably a counter gank, I want to say, by Xin Zhao. Zhao's very scary in the early game for sure. And it's Reginald. That's right, guys. He's been playing AP mid as normal. I'm not actually sure if this is the Reginald. Maybe there's a different letter or anything. But I'm going to say it's Reginald because it looks like it. So, yeah. That's how it's going to be. And he's the AP carry for TSM. Love them, hate them. They're pretty much the poster team, I guess, for the U.S., at least I assume that's whenever somebody thinks of League of Legends NA scene, they think of Team Solo Mid, for better or for worse. So, but we're not here to judge the team. We're here to judge the player and all the other players in this game as well. Anyways, let's go over the champion picks for the red team. It's going to be top lane AD Lulu, mid lane will be Reginald on Xerath. In the jungle, well, was Lee Sin. Now he's currently respawning. And in the bottom lane will be support Tark supporting an Ezreal. For the blue team, it's going to be a bot lane of Thresh and Vayne. There's going to be a Xin Zhao in the jungle, Kha'Zix mid, and Vladimir top. A couple things I want to say before we get underway. The reason I haven't been releasing so many shoutcasts is because guides take a lot of time in conjunction with schoolwork. Don't have a very free schedule, also it's kind of hard to find good replays. Working with MOBA Fire now should rectify that. I should be able to get a lot of pro replays for you guys. Just in the process of getting those together right now. So hopefully in the near future that will happen. And also, my guides are the next big thing on the MOBA Fire YouTube channel. Very successful, of course. It's obviously my natural charm and sexy voice. Don't like to brag too much, though. That's obviously it, right, guys? We all agree on that. Yeah, I'm glad we all agree on that. But that's why there haven't been so many shoutcasts. And I'm also going to be doing champion ability in-depth mechanics videos. I don't know what I'm going to title them. Ability mechanics in-depth something. Probably some witty title or something I'll think of. I don't know. But my next guy's going to be Cassiopeia. The ability mechanic video will go with that. So the point of the ability mechanics video is to help newer players to the champion. And also, even if you know the champion, watch them. You might learn something new. Because I try to cover everything about the abilities. All their little, I guess, strangeness about them. I don't know. Things you wouldn't naturally think about when using the champion. But yeah, so that's what I've been working on. And I still hope I can bring you guys more and more shoutcasts. Hopefully more frequently than one every few days. I'd like to do one every day, but time schedule's a little weird right now, so I'll work on that. Anyways, let's get underway with the game. We do have this Vladimir dropping extremely low. That's unfortunate for him. Lee Sin did end up dying, giving away First Blood to a counter game from Xin Zhao. And of course, Xin Zhao, right after killing him, is going to be like, I want the jungle now. Oh yeah. And right now, I do see 2 red buffs in play. However, this camp's still here, so maybe he left a little lizard or something. It could have been actually that Xin Zhao, that they counter jungled each other, but Xin Zhao left a small minion at the camp. That's actually what I assume it is, but I'm not sure. Oh, we're going to have Ezreal getting caught down here in the bot lane. He's going to take a ton of damage, but be able to flash away. Because that's Ezreal. He's survivable thanks to his free flash. It's very good. And, oh, we're having a Xerath versus Kha'Zix lane. I think I've actually had this lane in one of my games before. I would say Xerath has a nice early advantage against Kha'Zix, but once Kha'Zix hits level 6, he'll have no problem pushing the Xerath as much as the Xerath can push back. As long as he, of course, evolves his Void Spikes first. So we're going to see how that lane matchup goes. It really could just go either way. Of course, Xerath has more burst, but in the long run, Kha'Zix is going to have a lot more sustained DPS. It's going to really depend on whether Xerath can hit the stun well or not. And of course, we have Vladimir in the top lane. Vladimir, one of my favorite champions. I have a huge love of Vladimir play. And I just really like how the champion works. I like sustained DPS mages. Like Ryze, like Vladimir. You'd think Cassiopeia would be in there, but I actually don't like Cassiopeia. I'm not very good with Cassiopeia. I've played her a lot. I know a lot about her as a champion. I just don't play her very effectively. And of course, since I'm a huge Ryze fan, I automatically have to not like Cassiopeia that much because she poops on him in lane. Anyways, oh, AD Lulu, she's gonna be doing a ton of damage. Vladimir might be in a bit of trouble. He's just gonna pool, but was that too early? Lee Sin can still get the Q. He's going. Nice Q right there. Vladimir's gonna pop his ghost. He's going to get slow. He's gonna try to sustain himself. Will he be going down? I think so. And he is dead. AD Lulu picking up that one. I think this is AD Lulu. Ooh, the item choices. No Magic Mantle for the Vladimir probably, and Fairy Charm for Mana Regen, so still could go either way. I've never really understood the big hype about AD Lulu. I played it once, was kind of meh, but right now we do have a gank coming down here. Xin Zhao looking to initiate onto Lulu, and he actually got a smite off right before going in, and he's going to get the knock-up, and now Kaz is just going to jump on her, and AD Lulu, you are dead. There's no way she was going to be able to survive that. Lee Sin, of course, went, well, my friend's dead, so I guess I'm just going to boogie on out of here. Probably a smart decision from him. And what was I saying? I was talking about AD Lulu, but right now I'm going to talk about this Kha'Zix, who might be in a bit of trouble. I mean, this Xerath, Reginald, you might be in a bit of trouble. No, they're still going to try to collapse onto this Kha'Zix, and he's going to take some damage. The stun's not actually going to proc, but now it's going to proc. And I think that was actually too late to proc the stun. The E debuff had already gone away, and Lee Sin is actually going to make it out of there. That was very dangerous, Lee Sin jumping on top of that Xerath. He risked himself dying because, well, Xerath does a lot of damage to lone targets, and that Lee Sin was definitely off by his lonesome self. And Reginald right now being ganked by the Xin Zhao. He will survive just simply because he had too much health for the Xerath to burst through alone. If Kha'Zix had been in position, that probably would have been a kill. But, of course, we all can't be in the perfect position. Sorry, let me need cough for a second. And while I'm coughing, the Ezreal is getting killed by a nice hook from the Thresh. That is going to pick up a kill for them. Thresh is a very dangerous champion in lane. You kind of have to treat him like a Blitzcrank, except for his grab's like a long duration, but does not have the same kind of distance. And we are actually going to have Lulu going after this Vladimir. She's doing a lot of auto attack damage. There's the Ignite. He's going to pull out of the Glitter Lance, and he will be surviving, thankfully for him. Yeah, definitely AD Lulu. She has a bunch of damage. Even with the Dorn's Blade, she's probably stacking AD runes, probably reds, quints, and then I would just say a lot of magic resist as well. She does have the Chalice of Harmony, so she can spam her skills to her heart's content. And Reginald has this blue buff now. He's very happy about that. Blue buff is very good on Xerath. He loves the cooldown reduction, and he really wants that mana as well. Xerath's passive will help him a little bit in lane against the Kha'Zix. It's not a lot of armor, though, in the early game, even if you start out with some AP-heavy runes and masteries. I mean, right now, it's just giving him 4.41 armor. That's basically nothing. I mean, pretty ignorable. But late game, once he starts stacking up that AP real hard, he's going to be quite survivable against the likes of Xin Zhao, Kha'Zix, and others. Oh, right now he made the poor decision of deciding to anchor himself in range of Kha'Zix's jump. But actually now Kha'Zix seems to have overextended. The nice counter game from Lee Sin is going to pick up a kill. Well played by the Lee Sin coming in to help Reginald, and they do get the counter gank kill. And of course, Kha'Zix's ultimate is not nearly as useful against the Lee Sin, because you won't get the passive reapplied to you if they can see you when you go invisible. It's the act of not being seen by an opponent that gets Kha'Zix's passive refreshed. If you use the ultimate button, but they have vision of you, such as Lee Sin's Q or his Tempest, then you're not going to get the passive reapplied, so you're losing out on some damage and some CC. And it was just a case. I would have probably jumped on that if I was Xerath too. I can't blame him. It looked good. But then the Lee Sin came in and made it look really, really bad. And he did end up dying. And right now we are going to see a Haunting Guise picked up from Xerath. Of course, Reginald saying, I don't have enough armor pen with my E. Or I think it's W, I think is his anchor. I'm not exactly sure. Tarek going in for the stuns. Stunning the bitches every day. Can't blame him. That's what Tarek does. And right now we do have a gank. Maybe a lane gank coming in from Lee Sin. They don't see this. Oh, they might have a great opportunity here. Tarek trying to get the stun, but not quite. And here comes actually Xin Zhao. They're going for the counter gank. Actually, it looks like Lee Sin's the one who's counter ganking now. And Ezreal looks pretty dead, if you ask me. And they're going to try to tower dive this one. Ooh, nice heal coming out from him. But is it going to be enough? It will. He will barely stay alive. And Xin Zhao's going to get killed by the Lee Sin. And that was a nice countering by Lee Sin. He actually stayed back far enough so that Xin Zhao would go straight into turret range. I was a little confused at what he was trying to do there, but he was waiting for Xin Zhao to commit under the turret, and then he went in. That was well played by them. And of course, the heal from Tarek doing mad work keeping Ezreal alive. Ezreal actually did not pop his barrier. Perhaps a bit of a mistake. I think he could have definitely gotten killed in that situation if an Ignite had... Well, of course, there was no Ignite on the enemy team, actually, for those laners. And Vayne decided to pick up Cleanse. Of course, a strong decision. It looks like they might be going for the Thresh. I keep wanting to say Xin Zhao for every single champion in this game, but it's not true. And they are not going to be able to pick up the Thresh. Simply not enough CC Well, or at least Tark wasn't in range for his. Thresh Lantern doing a good job of providing vision without face checking. And looks like everyone's just gonna go back to their respective lane. Actually, Xerath might be getting ganked by the Kha'Zix. Oh, the Kha'Zix is not going to commit to that. Wise decision. Lee Sin was right there for the counter. And that would have probably been a dead Kha'Zix had he have committed too hard to that. We do see a lot of warning pings coming from red team. They are scared of the Xin Zhao. Of course, he is in the position. You've really got to be worried about early Xin Zhao ganks. They're some of the strongest in the game. Even level 2. E plus Q combos, a lot of CC to deal with, and a ton of damage. So you've really got to watch out for that. It's one of the reasons why he's such a strong pick right now. He has the ability to snowball games in the early game, and snowball them hard he will. And we are going to see Vladimir get tower dive by an AD Lulu. How embarrassing for him. He's going to pop his ultimate, but if he had popped that ultimate earlier in the fight, he would have had the enhanced damage for his other abilities. Probably would have been able to kill the Lulu. However, popping his ultimate quite a bit too late, unfortunately for him. Not the best of Vladimir play. But, yeah, what can you ask for, I guess? A panic situation will do that to people. However, let's take a look at the itemization. Vladimir has gone straight for a Seeker's Arm Guard, giving him some nice armor against the AD Lulu. And, of course, Xerath forcing the Kha'Zix to burn his escape to get out of the ultimate. Xerath's ultimate is decently low cooldown, but I mean, it's no Lux ultimate. Its cooldown is still a little hefty, but once you get some CDR, it will be up almost all the time when you need it. However, there have been cases when I played Xerath with max cooldown reduction that I've been able to use his ultimate twice in a team fight, but that's very extended team fight length, so it's not often going to happen. And we actually do see some action happening. Bot lane, Tark is going to get taken down by the Vayne. Will they tower out this Ezreal? No, of course not. He's way too high of HP. But Tark probably getting a bit too aggressive. Vayne and Thresh, a very dangerous combo. There's a lot of CC opportunities there. And of course, Thresh gives Vayne an escape, which she doesn't naturally have. So a very good combination of laners right there. Of course, it's not the greatest of early games, but, you know, it's not terrible. Of course, Vayne in a lane. Vayne brings a stun, a conditional stun, along with only auto attack. She doesn't bring any ability-based damage except for her knockback stun, which really isn't used for damage at all. It's just used for the CC component. And we are just going to have AD Lulu pushing this lane. I mean, I've seen a lot of people do it before. I've tried it myself, but I never understood the appeal of AD Lulu. I'm like, you can just give your passive to your carry with your help picks ability, right? So why would you need it? Why would you use it yourself? But, you know, it's like AD Thresh. I guess it's kind of what word am I looking for? Hidden, whatever. It's kind of a niche thing. That's the word I was looking for. That some people like, some people don't. So more power to you if you enjoy playing champions like that, I suppose. And right now, this Vladimir just can't lane at all against this Lulu. She's got so much mana sustain, she can constantly poke him. And of course, AD Lulu is very strong in the early game. And someone who's not strong in the early game, that would be Vladimir, until he hits his power level at about level 9, when his transfusion has the lowest cooldown. That's when he starts becoming a force to be reckoned with. That's when he starts having some really good DPS. And of course, his ultimate is amazing for team fights. And we are going to see the turret going down. This Vladimir actually might get dived. I don't know if he's going to be able to survive this. He's going to try to keep his health up. There's the ultimate from Lulu, slowing him. And Vladimir's going to try to pull out of this, but he knows he's dead. And there he goes down. And right now, Vladimir 0-3, pretty much just getting waffle stomped by that Lulu. She's pretty much pushing the pressure on early, and that's what she needs to do right now. We're going to have Tark getting taken down by the Thresh, by the Vayne. He's actually going to flash out the nice stun onto the Vayne, but I don't think he's going to survive. And one more auto attack from Vayne will clean that one up. And right now we have Kha'Zix getting dived on by the Lee Sin in the mid lane. He's going to be picking that one up. And nice job from the Lee Sin, able to push the Kha'Zix right out of lane and get a kill. Doing so, Lee Sin, one of the best duelists in the game. Even if you think you're Kha'Zix, you have a ton of damage. Lee Sin was just sitting around his own minions, and then at that point, Kha'Zix doesn't actually have a lot of burst damage. So there was really no way for him to fight the Lee Sin like that. And I think he did use his ultimate for that fight. I could be mistaken though. He might have not had it up. And right now we are going to see red team actually pushing this lane. Xerath has gone bot. Will they be able to counter this? And Ezreal's actually just going to flash out of that one. He did take about half of his HP and damage, a little bit less than that, so he's not going to want to get too close. One more grab from Thresh could mean the end of his life. And this Vayne does have a Bloodthirster, whereas he has a Bloodthirster as well. They're both Vayne does have the advantage in farm. He does have the advantage in kills. And right now they are actually both sitting about equal itemization. The Lulu's going to go diving right on the Vladimir again. Will he be able to pick up the kill with his ultimate down? No, he will not. Just barely actually ignite, plus the minion damage won't be enough. She's going to shield herself here in the bot lane. We are going to have a bit of initiation from Red Team. Will they want to tower dive this? Vayne is very low. However, so is Ezreal. And I think they are going to want to dive onto this Kha'Zix, but instead here comes Xin Zhao, going to be pushing them back. They don't really want to engage with Xin Zhao under the towers. He's going to have a lot of DPS. And would you see Lee Sin has his Lock of the Iron Solari Jungler Season, hashtag Jungler Item Season 3. Everyone's picking it up nowadays. And it seems that Xin Zhao has foregone that item. Right now they are going to try to initiate into here, but Vayne's really low. She doesn't want to commit. Neither does Thresh. He's also very low on HP. Xin Zhao wants to go in for this though. And Kha'Zix also might as well. He does have a decent amount of health. But Red Team is slowly but surely pushing down this tower in the bot lane. Lulu's just sitting up top lane. They could probably use her help here. Vladimir is coming in to assist his team. He does not have his ultimate up. It's a quite long cooldown at the early levels. So that's because it's just such a strong ultimate. You can't give something of that power a short cooldown. So it's only about half off cooldown right now. And we might be seeing actually Red Team disengaging from the tower push to pick up Dragon. It's going to take a while for Lee Sin and Tark to pick this thing up, though. Without any help from their teammates, Blue Team could actually respond to this, but they know there's no ward here thanks to the pink ward. Actually, I think there could be like a sight ward hidden right behind the walls here, but there is not. So Blue Team is completely ignorant of this Dragon attempt from Red Team, and Team Reginald will pick this free Dragon up. Right now, the gold difference actually in favor of Red Team, despite the fact that Vayne is doing quite well. Lulu has been raffle stomping the Vladimir top lane, and she's also been pushing very hard. So there's a tower advantage for Team Reginald, along with the fact that they also have the Dragon now under their belt. And they are going to be diving actually onto Lulu. She's going to pop her slow field. Will it be enough to get her out of her? She's a very survivable champion. Will she live through this? The flash actually going to probably guarantee her escape. It's very hard to catch a Lulu who's ahead. She's got slow, she's got a shield, she's got a speed boost, she's got an ultimate which gives her a giant heal and a slowing aura. It's something that's extremely hard to kill and very frustrating to deal against at times. And we are just going to have Red Team continuing to push this lane. And Vayne's about full health. Thresh is quite low, so he doesn't really want to initiate. It's that poke that you get from Ezreal going to probably bringing him low right now. And they are very close to taking this tower. I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to take it with the next minion wave. Xin Zhao's actually right at the golem, so he's in position to react to the tower going down, maybe jump on the Ezreal or the Tark, as they are quite extended. Lee Sin might be coming down as well to help with that. I was just going to probably go help Xerath with blue buff. Kha'Zix, nope, just picking up the race. I thought he might be coming down here for a gank. I'd like to see Kha'Zix ganking a little bit, but looks like he's not going to be right now. The wave does push itself back to about equilibrium, so we won't be seeing the tower go down quite yet. In terms of itemization, we got the Morello Nomicon on Xerath. Very good. He loves the cooldown reduction. That's pretty much why he's going to be picking it up. He's also picked it up because of the Grievous Wounds debuff. Going to be very good against healing champions. Tark has heals, and Zhao has heals. Although this is an AP Zhao or something crazy like that. And it's also going to be very strong against Vladimir. Morello Nomicon's very good against champions that have to have that kind of healing effect, and it's part of their champion kit. And right now we're actually going to have a bit of a dive onto the Xerath, but this was a poor decision due to the fact that there was a Lulu here to keep him alive. And now we actually might see Xin Zhao in a bit of trouble as he tried to help his friend, but the combined damage of the Lulu, of the Xerath, more than enough to pick him off. And that was just pretty much Lulu doing Lulu things, keeping her teammates alive and forcing the other team to pretty much have a terrible fight on their hands. Right now we're actually going to see some nice initiation from the Xerath, from the Thresh, and they might be able to pick up the kill on the Ezreal. No, they're not. The heals from the Xerath plus the stuns more than enough to conquer that situation, and they are going to pick up the Thresh as well. Double kill for the Ezreal, and it's a mid-game. Ezreal's a lot stronger than Vayne at this point. A lot of people look at Vayne and they say, hey, strong carry. Why would you not want her on your team? The problem is her mid-game kind of sucks, and we're seeing that happen now. Ezreal has about equal itemization. Hey, in fact, he doesn't even have tier 2 boots or the Zeal, but he's still stronger than her. just because his ability set is just so good. And right now we are seeing a bit of a dive from blue team. I don't think they want to dive this. Reginald has his skills up. Does he have the ultimate? He doesn't. He already burned the ultimate. They're going to maybe get the stun onto the Vladimir. No, they're not, but no, they're all so very low. Tarek Stun's going to destroy the Xin Zhao, get the kill right there. And right now it's looking heavily weighted towards Team Reginald. They do have a nice gold advantage, and they are pushing this tower continuously, and they are going to get it. They just have a lot of mid-game powers. Xerath, Ezreal, and I want to say AD Lulu as well. There's just a lot of power here for the early game pushing and for those early mid-game team fights. The blue team needs to wait for Vladimir to get some items up, to get his DPS up. They need to wait for the Vayne to get a lot of major items up before she's very effective as a champion. And unfortunately, fortunately, I suppose, for Team Reginald, they're not allowing blue team to have that time to reach late game. They're pushing hard now, and it's going to benefit them very well. There we go. There's the stun on to the Kha'Zix. He's going to go down extremely fast in this team fight. The Vayne's going to dive deep. She's going to get the Lulu. She might actually get the Tark as well. There's the double kill. Kha'Zix trying to kite for his Ezreal. They're both going to get slowed by the Vladimir pool, and Reginald's going to go down to the Vladimir, and now Ezreal's going to go down as well. Nice counter engage from blue team. They saw that red team was vastly overextended, and Vayne just coming back from a heal. She had some new items up. She was just able to get in there and start dishing out the DPS. Kha'Zix did end up going down early on in that team fight, but all that focused damage onto him meant that the Vayne was just able to come in and clean up, which was very effective for her. Of course, Vladimir ulti helped out a lot as well at that last part of the engagement, along with the slow. And they have bought themselves some breathing room, but I'm still concerned that Team Reginald is going to have the stronger team at this point in the game. I don't think there's much that blue team can do except for try to initiate upon red team's mistakes, try to catch them too overextended. But really, they kind of have Thresh for initiation, maybe Xin Zhao, and that's going to be their initiation. Of course, not that red team has a bunch of initiation of their own. Lee Sin's, though, not the worst initiator in the game. Of course, we do see Lulu picking up the Blade of the Ruined King. I say, of course, and Lulu and Blade of the Ruined King in the same statement, and that's not really words that go together well. But, I mean, she's worried about the Xin Zhao picking up a Warmox, which it looks like he is going to. She's worried about the Vladimir and all of his HP that he's going to have, which he will at one point, eventually. And, of course, Blade of the Ruined King, a very good item pickup at this point in the game. We do see Xin Zhao has decided to get his lock to the Iron Solari. He's going for a tanky Xin Zhao build as he's 0-3 and 4. He's not ahead to the point where he's going to be building damage. It's just not, he can't do it efficiently at this point in the game. So he's going to have to go for a bit of a tanky build. Right now we do see Team Reginald, I mean, are they going for Baron? I can't even tell. They don't have Ezreal. Can they do it? It's a solo Lee Sin against Baron right now. They're not committing hard enough to this to really make it an effective go. I mean, Lulu does have Blade of the Ruined King. That's a lot of damage right there dished onto Baron. I mean, how much damage is this onto Baron? 120 versus minions. That's still quite a... No, that's the passive. I actually don't know. Yeah, I think it's 120 versus the minions. But still, that's a lot of damage going on to Baron from Lulu. And they do pick up an uncontested Baron. This is huge. This makes their already very strong mid-game even stronger. Blue team's going to realize that they have Baron, and they're just going to have to fall back. They're going to probably lose their last Adder Tower top lane for this. They're going to need to find some way to defend against a Baroned up red team at this stage of the game. They're simply just going to be a lot stronger than blue team can deal with at this right now. The Baron buff's just going to be huge, and Vayne actually might be getting caught out right now. No, she's going to be fine getting out of there, but they know it now. They're like, oh, red team has Baron buff. They just sneaked that while we were pushing bot lane. What do we do about this? And the short answer is defend and hope that you don't lose an inhibitor turret, or worse, an inhibitor for it. But they might at this stage of the game, because Xerath has picked up some nice mid-game items. Morellonomicon giving him a bunch of cooldown reduction on top of the Haunting Guy's nice magic penetration. Ezreal does have his Trinity Force with Bloodthirst, so that means his Qs are going to hit extremely hard at this stage of the game. It's going to be hard for them to deal with that kind of damage output. And Lee Sin, oh, actually, we're going to see Kha'Zix getting caught out here in the mid lane. He's going to try to use his ultimate to survive. Will he? That is the question. He is barely going to survive. Oh, Kha'Zix, you might be in a bad position yourself. Not Kha'Zix. I call Xin Zhao Kha'Zix and Kha'Zix Xin Zhao. Ugh, what is wrong with me in saying these names? I don't know. But Xin Zhao and Kha'Zix both kind of getting caught out there. And red team's just pushing down. Vladimir stepped too close. He did end up getting stunned and just took a ton of damage. The poke here from red team is just so fierce. It's very hard for blue team to deal with this, especially that red team has Baron buff. I seem to be losing some frames, very uncharacteristic of my computer, even in times of strife such as this. And right now, red team is just poking down blue team super hard. And with this next minion wave, I don't really know how blue team's going to hold their turret. Just look at the damage onto Vayne. They don't even need to initiate right now. They just need to rely on Xerath and Ezreal to deal a ton of damage to the Vayne, to the high priority targets. We're going to see Vladimir get nuked down. His pool's just barely going to save his life. And the tower is already beneath 1/4 HP. They might actually just walk up here and try to take it. They are worried about the Xin Zhao initiating on the Ezreal under the turret, though. But it looks like they are actually going to get the turret without the minion wave. Will they pile in and try to take a team fight? Kha'Zix does get stunned, but nothing comes of that. Right now, red team, they still have the Baron buff. Blue team wants to engage, but they really don't want to have to fight the team, especially when they keep getting poked down. But I think they need to initiate now, or they just need to fall back and lose the inhibitor, because they're just going to keep getting poked down. Right now, Vladimir's going to get stunned. Will he go down this time? He's going to troll pool out of there. And right now, Tark's falling very low, but so is Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao might be the first to fall. He is. Kha'Zix also going to dive for the support, but end up dying. Ezreal's going to pick up the Vladimir and the Xin Zhao with his ultimate. Nice shot from him, getting a triple kill, and this is going to be the end of the inhibitor, perhaps the end of the game as well. I think they could push in for the win. There's a long respawn timer on Kha'Zix. Vayne also going down to the Xerath. I didn't quite see that one, but Thresh is the only one left up right now. Lulu does end up dying to the turrets on the Nexus, but right now I think this is game. Guys, I don't think that there's any way Thresh can just solo defend his base, and a 27-minute game, teaching us the power of picking up an early Baron, skyrocketed this already strong mid-game team just way ahead of blue team, and there was nothing that blue team could do really at that stage of the game. We do see Kha'Zix and Xin Zhao respawning, but it is for naught as the Nexus does explode. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Raabemaster bringing you League of Legends Procast featuring Reginald on Xerath. I hope you guys did enjoy. I did. That was just some strong mid-game play from red team. I don't really know who I'd call the MVP. There was some pro Lulu plays against that Vladimir. Vladimir not playing well in the early game, ended up giving a lot of kills to Lulu and setting himself just so far back. He didn't even have his Hextech Revolver. I mean, that's a key item on Vladimir. Hextech Revolver. Will the Ancient's just so synergetic with his kit. But unfortunately for him, he was not able to purchase those, and he just didn't have the greatest of damage output late game. He was sort of tanky, but he just kept getting poked down. He really wasn't able to contribute at all to the team fights. And that last team fight at the end, where was the Vladimir ulti? That's right, he wasn't able to use it because he was pretty much dead before the team fight started. So I'm going to have to give this one. Reginald's early mid-game team comp paid off in the end. They took an early Baron right out from under the nose of blue team. It's like they didn't even know that it was happening, which I don't think they did. And they only lost one turret over the course of the entire game, so well played by them. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to check out my Leona video on MobaFire TV YouTube channel. I'll link it in the description below. And my next one's going... And subscribe to their channel as well, because my next one's going to be Cassiopeia, and it will be there tomorrow, probably. If you're watching this video, today is like the 25th, not the 22nd, Monday, so it's going to probably be out Tuesday. Yeah. So, I will see you guys next time.